Hi guys, so this is part 2 of Zendaya's style report. So this is the color analysis section. So for color analysis, Zendaya is really quite confusing because she looks good in literally almost every single color. She looks good in blues, she looks good in oranges, she looks good in pretty much everything, and it can be really confusing to type someone like that. Let's get started and let's compare Zendaya in some different colors. So first we have the classic sort of test, which is yellow versus blue. And you can see that really Zendaya might actually look better in the blue than she does in the yellow. So in the yellow, all I see is that dress. As soon as I look at her, I don't even see Zendaya. I just see that yellow dress. And in the blue, at least I can see Zendaya, right? So the blue is better than the yellow in this case. So does this mean that she is cool? Well, to me, this is the thing. I'm very hesitant to call someone cool if they look like they have some golden overtones to their skin. If you have golden overtones to your skin, you're probably not cool. You're probably warm and delicate. And if you are confused about this, you could watch my video titled Cool Undertones with Golden Overtones. Spoiler alert, it's not a thing, it's not a real thing, you're probably warm and delicate. So let's try to take a look at a test that actually works to determine if you're warm or cool, if you're one of these delicate undertones and you basically are so close to neutral that you don't really know which one, if you're cool or warm. But another spoiler alert, if you don't know if you're cool or warm, you're probably warm. So now we have these two images and you can see that we're comparing colors that are closer to neutral. So a neutral red, a true red, is a neutral color. And we have a magenta and we also have a warm red. And in this case, you can see pretty clearly. You can see much more clearly which color looks better, the warm or the cool, because we've gotten closer to neutral, and I talk about this in that video, Golden Overtones with Cool Undertones, so if you are interested, check that out. I'm not going to go through every single detail of that, because then this video would be way too long, but you can see that because we're closer to neutral, we can better discern that Zendaya is definitely warm. You can see how the red, the warm red, sort of melts into her skin and the fuchsia just sits on top of her skin and her skin just looks kind of golden next to it and it just looks like it's almost photoshopped onto her, right? But she definitely is warm. Another good test to try is a cool pink versus a peach. So you can see just how the cool pink on Zendaya looks just a little bit separate from her, and it doesn't look like it just blends into her skin. It doesn't look like it accentuates her glow, but as soon as she puts on some peach, that just looks perfect against her skin, and that really accentuates her glow. So she is warm and delicate. Why is she warm and delicate? Because the yellow really overpowered her. I did receive a question that asked if you can be in between warm and delicate and warm and radiant, and the answer is absolutely you can be in between warm and delicate and warm and radiant. The skin undertone spectrum is nothing but a spectrum. It's nothing more, nothing less, and nothing more than a spectrum. So you can be anywhere on that line, and you can be in between warm and delicate and cool and delicate. And in my consults, I will tell people sort of how close they are to warm and radiant or something like that, and sort of where they really fall within their sort of main family. Because if I were to make more categories, we would have an infinite number of categories. The categories of warm and delicate and warm and radiant, they're just an aid to understand the different groups of the undertones, and they're not so much an actual division. So you can be in between. In this case, Zendaya she is kind of like the average warm and delicate. She's not extra delicate, extra close to neutral, but she's also not almost radiant. But if you are warm and delicate and you're very close to neutral, this kind of burnt orange might not work for you. This burnt orange looks pretty nice on Zendaya, but if you are very close to neutral, burnt orange might be a little bit too bright for you, and then you might think that, hey, I'm not warm, and I'm not even warm and delicate because burnt orange doesn't look right on me, so I must be cool. But no, burnt orange is actually quite a bright color, but it does tend to work for the average warm and delicate, or maybe someone who's just a touch brighter than the average warm and delicate. And it also works better for some higher contrast warm and delicate people like Zendaya. In this case, she has some higher contrast, so that can help with making some brighter colors look more balanced as well. So I would definitely put her in this beautiful burnt orange color. I would put her in this olive green, and that looks so amazing on her, and her skin is just glowing. It all looks very harmonious. I would also put her in brick red. I absolutely love. Can you guys tell me a better name for this color? I love this color on her. I love it. It's perfect. It melts into her skin, it brings out her glow, and it just all looks so seamless together, and it just looks like it's one of her best colors, is this brick red. Because also in these cases, she's kind of high to medium contrast, so that darker color is just going to look really, really nice with her natural contrast levels, and it's going to bring out her soft glow, so it's just such an easy color for her to wear. She also looks amazing in some really soft golds. Now the golds have to be almost like a tan because she is a delicate undertone. And if you're a delicate undertone, a warm and delicate undertone, you might find that yellow gold is a little bit too yellow for you, and that silver might even look better. But what you really need to try is rose gold. Rose gold will look just right on warm and delicate. Or if you are going for clothing items, you have a bit more flexibility to choose the type of gold, so you can go for this kind of almost like a beige with a gold sheen. You can see how it's not very bright, so that would look really good. And you can also go for a tan with a gold type of a sheen, and it's important to remember that this looks quite golden on Zendaya because she is pretty delicate. She is a soft coloring, and of course peach looks amazing on her. I would love to put her in some peaches, some brick reds, things like that. All of those warm red colors look really, really good on her. And she also looks amazing in ivories and creams, and really ivory is her white, so she wants to avoid optic white. Optic white is just not going to do any favors for Zendaya whatsoever, and why bother? If you're going to go through the effort of wearing white, why not wear your own white? Optic white for warm and delicate is one of the worst colors. It's just going to make you fade into the background. It's going to maybe wash you out. It's just not going to look that harmonious. It's just going to distract from you. So all of these kinds of creams, ivories are amazing on her. And of course, this kind of ivory white is also lovely on her. I think this looks really good. But back to the question of gold. My all-time favorite topic for warm and delicate is gold. I can't say this enough. So you can see here that Zendaya, so she looks pretty good, and if you watch my previous video, she is flamboyant gamine, so she can handle a little bit more of a color contrast, even some colors that are a little bit too bright on her, some colors that are a little bit too dark on her. She can handle that quite well because of her body type and because of the sort of mixture of opposites that goes with the lines of that body type. But she also just, you can see against her skin that that gold color is just a little bit too warm for her. So it's kind of a muted gold. So again, she might think, well, I must not be warm then if I can't wear this. But this looks familiar. You can see Aishwarya, she's also warm and delicate, and she has the same kind of effect in this kind of bright gold color. You can see that her skin is just not warm enough to handle that gold color, and the gold color kind of stands out against her skin. And Aishwarya also would be better suited with rose gold, or otherwise a pretty cream tan with a gold sheen, basically, and that'll already look golden on Aishwarya. And before you say that gold looks like this on everyone, gold does not look like this on everyone. You can see Hayden Panettiere, warm and radiant. It looks perfectly harmonious on her. It doesn't look separate from her skin, and this kind of golden yellow also doesn't look separate from Oprah Winfrey, who's also warm and radiant. So gold in general looks really good on warm and radiant. And if you guys have questions on Hayden or Oprah, leave them down below, but I won't get into their color typing right now. But just know that they are both warm and radiant. But if you're really watching closely, you might consider, well, how come that red dress that you showed, that looked quite bright, and the golden top kind of also, the golden top, I mean, that looks about as bright as this red dress. So how come she can wear the golden top? She can't wear the golden top as easily as she can wear this kind of pretty bright red dress. And also, how come this red dress looked just right on her, even though it's a bright, high chroma color and she is delicate and muted? Well, it's actually because red is neutral. So remember, warm and delicate is close to neutral but slightly warm. Warm red is close to neutral but slightly warm. But yellow is not close to neutral and it's not slightly warm. Yellow is extremely warm. So because of that distance from neutral, that's the problem with yellows. So the farther away you get from red, let's say the farther away you go to burnt orange, that has to be more muted. Then after you go to yellow, basically like gold, that has to be extremely muted for warm and delicate, to a point where it's almost like a beige or a tan. And then you'll see stuff floating around. Burnt orange is just as warm as orange, it's just muted. Don't believe that, that's absolutely false. Burnt orange is cooler than pure orange. So this burnt orange is cooler than pure orange. Okay, why is it cooler? Because what we did was we added a neutral brown to the pure orange. So when we add neutral brown to pure orange, what do we get, right? We start to move closer to neutral. That means that we start to get a little bit cooler. So yes, burnt orange and pure orange are both, of course, warm colors, but since we added a neutral brown, we have made that clear chroma orange a little bit cooler, actually. It's kind of like taking hot water and then adding some room temperature water, right? It's gonna make that hot water not as hot anymore. So that's what we did with the burnt orange. Do not listen to this whole thing that muted colors are the same temperature as their clear chroma counterparts. That's not true. Okay, now that I've ranted about that, let's talk about some bright colors that she can wear now that we understand that. So she can also, remember how I said she can wear brick red, that looks amazing. Of course, she can also wear some tomato red, that looks really good on her, or some warm red, that looks good on her. And she can also go for, if she wants to go for those brighter colors, warm red is amazing. You can see it looks really good on her. She can also go for a warm, pretty bright green, and that's good, but not lime green, just slightly, like a slightly warm green. And you can see Aishwarya Rai also looks really good in a warm green, but not so good in a gold, right? And that's again because green is closer to neutral. So for both of these ladies, it's because we aren't necessarily, let's say with warm bright green and warm bright red, we're not matching them in chroma. So those colors are bright and these ladies are warm and delicate. But we are at least matching them in temperature, because warm green and warm red is close to neutral but slightly warm, and likewise these ladies are close to neutral, slightly warm, so it kind of works out pretty well. Those are the bright colors that they can wear much more easily and much more effortlessly. And of course, Zendaya doesn't have to wear her best colors head to toe to look amazing. All she has to do is incorporate some of her best colors right near her face to bring that soft glow to her face. And she can wear any other colors in her outfit, doesn't matter what they are. They can be cool, they can be warm, it doesn't matter. What matters is that near her face she has her best colors. And because Zendaya is warm and delicate and she's close to neutral, some of her, and also because warm and radiant colors are so bright, they're brighter than cool and radiant colors. So warm and delicate's next best colors are actually cool and delicate, because those colors are just not as bright as warm and radiant. But on the other hand, Cool and Delicate's best colors are Cool and Radiant. And this is because Cool and Radiant colors are just not as bright. So I hope that kind of made sense. So if you were mistyped as a summer of some kind, then you could consider, and you feel like it's a little off or something, or you have like a golden overtone, or you feel like you have yellow tones to your skin and you were just typed as a summer, or you typed yourself as a summer, consider Warm and Delicate. You might be Warm and Delicate. So, right, so the next best category for, the next best family of colors for Zendaya is going to be Cool and Delicate. Cool and Delicate works okay on Zendaya, and it definitely doesn't look as amazing as Warm and Delicate, obviously, but it does. Some of those colors can work pretty well for her. If Zendaya wants to wear some Cool and Radiant colors, some of her best Cool and Radiant colors would be a warm purple, so that would look amazing. So of course all purples are cool and all teals are cool. It's kind of like a warm purple is like saying a warm day in Antarctica, but it's still a warmer purple than violet. So warm purples can work pretty well on Zendaya. Teals also work pretty well on Zendaya as well. Teals work well on Warm and Delicate. Muted turquoise, if you're Warm and Delicate but you're lighter, you could do muted turquoise, but if you have some more high contrast coloring like Zendaya, then teal would be really lovely. What is she supposed to do if she's Warm and Delicate and she is Flamboyant Gamine? What is she supposed to do? So there are a few things to consider. The first thing is what I already mentioned about the bright colors. So the bright colors that she can wear really well are tomato red, and this is an image that I showed in my last video, and this is her in some Flamboyant Gamine lines, and she's wearing tomato red, and she's incorporating that element of her lines that is the bright colors, but she is also really working in harmony with her skin's temperature, with her skin's undertone. So that looks really good on her. What she can also do is work with some color contrasts. So she can still wear those Warm and Delicate colors like here. You can see how that color just gives her skin a soft glow, but she also incorporated some black color blocking to add that color blocking that the Gamine looks really good in. So she looks really, really good there. And finally, last but absolutely not least, is that when you are Warm and Delicate, slightly bright colors already look extremely bright on you. So this is the thing, right? You want to wear bright colors as a Gamine, but what does that mean? It means that you want to wear colors that look bright on you, right? So that's the whole idea. So I would say even this burnt orange just looks a little bit bright on her, but not so bright that it looks separate from her. So this is something that I would recommend. Just some colors that look a bit bright on you, but not so bright that they're wearing you, you know? So just keep that in mind, and vice versa. If, let's say, you are a soft classic or a romantic and you are Warm and Radiant, then going for some semi-muted colors is already going to look quite soft on you. So it's all relative to your undertone, right? Just like with body typing, the lines that you wear are relative to the lines of your body, the same way the colors that you wear are relative to your skin undertone. So I'm going to show a little before and after for this style report, I guess. And so this is Zendaya hypothetically before finding out her best colors and her best lines, and you can see that the optic white is pretty distracting from her. The flamboyant natural style really sort of just hangs off of her. It's not really doing her any favors, and as soon as she puts on her own flamboyant Gamine lines, then she looks absolutely amazing, and it just all comes together for her, and she just looks so uniquely beautiful. So that is all I have to say. So let me know your thoughts, leave a comment below, leave some questions below, and I will definitely try to respond. And there you guys go, highly requested Zendaya. I hope you enjoyed it.